How you doing, guys? Super happy to be here today. I recognize a few familiar faces around here, so that's always good. But I mean, I'm surrounded by football, so that's a positive alone. I feel like we're family already walking in here. Listen to those guys speak. I was just speaking of this. It's so refreshing just to hear coaches and people that's been around the game and wanting to improve and keep the game going. I've had a great life. Was due to the game. Probably saved my life. And so when I got contacted to speak on the impact of you coaches, it couldn't have been more spot on. So it's a story. It goes back about this guy. This guy came up. He was an honor roll student. He was a model citizen. He was one of the nicest kids ever. He grew up in a single parent household. He was raised by his mother. He went to high school. All right, got every award there was in high school. He was freshman in this, sophomore that, Ghana's club this, blue chip that. All right, All-American. All right, I'm talking just a great kid, on and off the field, on and off the field. All right, this kid then went to college, one of the top tier defensive backs in college. All right, one of the top tier defensive backs in college. All right, Division I football. All right, just 2 short years in. All right, in his graduating class, this kid is a top 10 defensive back in Division I football in the entire country. All right, for anybody who's, and I know you guys do, the draft is coming up here. All right, there's roughly 32 defensive backs that get drafted every year. All right, they got this guy ranked inside of a top 10 in his class, in his graduating class. All right, so one night, all right, this kid goes to a party. And, he's feeling himself. He's feeling a lot of the success that he's had throughout his career, or his young career. A few things happen. All right, a few things happen. I won't go into detail because some young ears are here. But a few things happen. Next thing you know, this kid is on the front breaking news of CNN, CSNBC. His name is run across the bottom of ESPN breaking news. Suddenly this kid, all right, was the nicest kid, all right, didn't give his parents no trouble. Honor roll student, was suddenly hit rock bottom. All right, suddenly hit rock bottom. His entire career, everything he had worked his life up for, gone down the drain. Just like that. A 10-second decision ultimately changed the next 10 years of this kid's life. All right? That kid was me. All right, that kid was me. Dominic Jones. Like you say, I was from Columbus, Ohio. Went to Brookhaven High School. All right? The only athlete there to win a state championship. Football, basketball, track. All right? 3-sport athlete. All right? Like I said, National Honor Society. I did everything, all right, that I was supposed to do. I grew up in a single parent's household, like I said, and my mother did the best she could. She worked 2 jobs to try to raise me and my brother. All right, so I had a coach. All right, I had a coach by the name of Randy Clarkson, who now is the coach of my son. And this coach was a guy who pretty much picked me up from practice. All right, took me to and from. He made sure I had game shoes. All right, he made sure I was able to travel because my mom couldn't afford it. She just had enough money to make sure I had a roof over my head, clothes on my back, and food on the table. But she didn't have enough money to do anything extracurricular. But this guy, this coach, seen something in me at a young age that a lot of people didn't see. He invested his time in me. All right, he coached me hard. He was that father figure, all right, that I never had, that I wish that I had had. He treated me like his own. All right, so as we're sitting here talking about today, I mean, obviously a lot of you youth coaches, all right, and I heard Coach Rosati talk about it a little bit, but you really just never know the impact that you truly have in a kid's life. So, what happened? So here I was. I got to a point where in college where I felt like, you know what? I'll read my press clippings just a little bit. I mean, I'm number 2 on SportsCenter, number 3 on SportsCenter this week. I just had the hardest hit And I don't know how long, I just put Ray Smalls down. All right, in the shoe, back home where I'm from. I mean, I'm feeling myself. And suddenly, all right, I started to depart from the people who ultimately helped me get to where I was at. All right. The communication between me and the guy who practically raised me, all right, my youth coach, all the way up, phone ringing, I'm seeing it, I'm silent this time. I'm gonna call him back. All right. On his end, and he'll tell you today, he kind of stopped calling me as much as he probably should have. He probably, he stopped reaching out to me. All right. He stopped doing some of the things that he normally did on his side too. So we had this relationship that kind of went south. And I always tell people that, my 10-second decision that ultimately changed the next 10 years of my life, all right, was a direct result of me forgetting everything that I worked my ass off for. And for me, not really communicating with my youth head coach. I'm talking about this guy, through and through, all right, was my role model. Wasn't somebody else on TV, all right? It wasn't any of the athletes you ask me all the time. When I say Randy Clarkson, they say who? What did he do? Who did he play for? Play high school football. I mean, he's a youth football coach. I'm like, oh, okay. And so that's standing before you today, just the impact that you guys have, all right? It's tremendous, all right? It's tremendous. It's tremendous. And, I was telling those guys when I was 4 years old, my mom changed my birth certificate to make sure I was 5 years old, just so I could be able to play. She didn't really know what to do with me. She changed my birth certificate. Here I was, 4 years old, wobbling out there on the offensive line, one of the smallest kids out there, and I didn't know what I was doing. All right, I started my career off on the offensive line. All right, and when I look at it today, I was just talking about this crazy about a year ago. 2015, there's roughly around 15 million households here in the United States, all right, where young males were being raised by single-parent mothers. All right, here we are, 2017, all right, and this is all factual information that you guys can look up and share, but here we are, 2017, that number has now risen to 17.4, all right, million young men out here who are living in single-parent households. All right, 45% of that group is below poverty line. So think about where these young men are going. Where you got incarceration numbers that are going up. More crimes. More guys doing drugs, etc., etc. All this is a direct result because the youth sports aren't what they used to be. All right. The coaches aren't invested as much as they used to be. All right. It's not taken as seriously as it once was before. All right. Numbers are down. All right. In some areas, crime rates are up. All right. Crime rates are up. And so I sit here today and I just think about the impact that it directly had in my life. Here was a kid from Columbus, Ohio, the inner city, didn't really have much growing up. All right. I wore the same pair of shoes the whole entire year. My son wouldn't know nothing about that. Because he gets 5, 6, 7, 8 pairs of shoes throughout a year. All right. He wouldn't know nothing about walking home, not knowing whether he's going to have to fight somebody for a coat that he had on, or just from being on the wrong side of the street. My son will never know nothing about that. All right. And like I said before, here I am today, so I ended up going to jail for a year. All right. I ended up going to jail for a year, and I couldn't really fathom how I got there. I couldn't really fathom how I got there. Here I was, this national honor roll student. I carried a 3.2 cumulative GPA. All right, at the University of Minnesota. It's a top 10 institution. All right, and I had never read a book from front to back. That's hard for people to believe, but I had never read a book from front to back. But I could remember a vivid conversation and vivid memories of a coach taking me and dropping me off at a library. All right, trying to stress me the importance of reading and educating myself. That was Randy Clarkson. But still, up to this day, I had never read a book from front to back. And so when I got locked up, I talked to Randy Clarkson. Randy Clarkson said, hey, listen, I got a book for you. That book was the first book I had ever read from front to back. It was Purpose Driven Life by Rick Warren. All right, if you never read that book, grab it. All right, life changer. And so here I was, you know, this person that had grew to be, that I really didn't know who I was. I read that book, it kind of changed my life. I started to restore some of the relationships, all right, that really meant the most to me, all right, because I knew one day, all right, I had an out day. But what was I going to do when I got that out day? All right, so I was in there and the guy said, so what's going to be your purpose when you get out of here? I said, I'm going to start back working out, get back on this field, I'm going to get to the league so I can take away, so I can take care of my family. That's my goal, that's my purpose. He said, okay. I said, okay. He said, well, answer this for me. He said, how can something in your life be a purpose if it's only temporary? And I was like, all right, but he said, don't answer that right now, go back to your cell, talk to me tomorrow. Old school cat, been in jail for a while. And so I came back the next day, he broke it down to me, he said, listen, man, one day your career is going to be over. Whether it's through old age, whether it's through injury, whether it's through some young cat coming in that's bigger and better than you, all right, it's going to come to an end. If you tell me that your life purpose is football, that comes to an end. God meant for us to have eternity. All right? God meant for you to be a blessing to others. As long as you're on this earth, you have purpose. Football is going to end. What's going to be your purpose? What's your purpose? So I asked you again, what's your purpose? So I had to step back. I was like, man, what's really my purpose? And so I checked out of there. All right, did everything I was supposed to do, complete all the classes I was supposed to complete, and I got out. That was 2007. All right, 2008. Got out, and since then, I've been going around this country speaking to young men, all right, young women, at some of the top institutions in the country, all right, not only about my life, but how to prevent where I've been, all right, how to stay focused. Always tell people, I hear a lot of guys say, a lot of people say, you know, you got to prove this person wrong, all right, you got to get them to prove this person. No, I'm out here to prove that people are right who believe in me from the beginning. All right, the Randy Clarksons of the world. All right, my mom who had, who worked 2 jobs to support me. All right, so, going back to youth coaches and the impact that you have, here I am sitting today as Director of Football Operations, all right, for the Cleveland Gladiators, Assistant Head Coach. All right, I'm on the Community Relations Board for our Cleveland Cavaliers team, all right, our Monsters hockey team, and just 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, all right, nobody could imagine that, all right, nobody probably would have thought that. I got locked up, I lost everything, all right, I tell people all the time, it probably was a blessing in disguise. I've been able to help more people now, all right, than I think I would have ever did with millions of dollars. I might have been a threat to society with millions of dollars. That's just real talk. I'm not sure I'd even be here. And I can laugh at it now, but like I said before, I've been able to have more impact on more lives, all right, going through what I went through, and being that vessel right now, coming back and talking about stuff like this that I probably ever would have been, all right, in an NFL jersey, all right. And, so I just wanted to come and share that quick note. I know we had, drawn past some time or whatnot, and I want to help speed that process up, but I just really wanted to share that testimony with you guys and be able to answer any questions, going forward. I'm in Cleveland now most of the time, especially from February through September range. And so feel free, man. Feel free, each and every person in here, if I can ever be assistant to anyone. I always talk about exposure at the Q. And regardless if I'm talking about football, basketball, or hockey. Talk about exposure. What I mean by that is there's so many kids that drive up and down that freeway right there that wraps around the field, and you can see this big pretty picture of the skyline. You got the Q, and there's so many kids that's never stepped foot in that building. So many kids that whose hopes and dreams, like it or not, rely on a sport. It wasn't until I was 18 years old where I ever stepped foot into a college campus when I went on a visit. That was the first time in my life that I had ever been on a college campus, ever seen a college classroom. So growing up, how was I supposed to go to college, or this is what I'm expected to do, when it was something I never saw before? It was something I was never introduced to, all right? So now I'm an intricate part of the Memphis Sharks organization in Columbus. Part of our organization's whole makeup is we have now college visits there. All right, we're taking kids to the libraries. All right, we're showing them how, we're introducing them. So my kid changes what he wants to be all the time. Probably like he changed girls. And I have another son who's not here, but the reason why I do that is because I try to expose them to so much that I was never exposed to, so they can't make up their mind what they want to be. This week it's a, it's a dentist. Next week is, like one of my sons said, a veterinarian. Next week is, oh, he wants to be the best football player. He wants to be Odell. And that is a beauty for me, just because the exposure. All right, what we're doing with our youth program, we're exposing these kids to experiences that they never would have had. All right, and that's why I think some of the duties is of you coach, the impact that you guys can have. All right, man, life changing. All right, life changing. Be persistent. All right, be persistent with these kids. Be patient. Be aggressive. All right, you see things in kids that they don't see in themselves. All right, you do. All right, and I'd rather them be upset and that you're pestering them than they look out here and lose their life to the streets. All right, so any other thing, all right, that's not productive to them being successful men. All right, not being successful men. So again, if I could ever be a help to anyone here in any way, please feel free to contact me. I'll leave some cards here. I'm not sure if it's enough for everybody, but I'm extremely accessible. I try to make way for everybody. We had a youth program this year for the first year. I got there and I said, are we giving back to any youth programs? Are we doing anything for our youth out here? Well, kind of not really. So the answer was no. And I'm like, okay, well, it's a start. They said, well, here goes $20,000. Can you do something with that? I'm like, yeah, give me the 20. Let me see what I can do. And we had a program where we honored one youth program every week. I think you was one of them, right? Two. So we honored one youth program every week. And then I said, okay, let's take the high school. Last year was our first year where we honored one high school player of the week. We one right here, a mentor, Isaiah Gullick, right? Isaiah. And so it's these small games that we're eventually already start to spread our wings a little bit more, but it always starts with that one person. God placed me in this position for a reason. Before I got there was none of these programs. All right. We'll have some other programs that are filtered through, but still a lot of what's in me is filtered through my youth coach. A lot of my principles, a lot of stuff that I live by, a lot of stuff that I go through today is filtered through, all right, my youth coach. And so that's the impact that you guys can have. Never think any differently. You guys are life coaches, your dads, your uncle, your doctor, your counselors. You're all the above. And it's not a paid gig. You'll get paid for it. But man, to see a guy grow up and be successful is probably more than what money could ever pay you guys. All right, more money ever could pay you guys. So that's it for me. I don't know if you might have any questions, but if not, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for letting me talk today. It's been a pleasure. I hope I was able to bless somebody's ears to go back and be that spark and be that strength, for that kid out there that's yearning for it. So I appreciate you guys.